की जाए नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जाए नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाए नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाए नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रील जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाए श्री रूपनु गौरिया गुरुवार्ग की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जाए नितिल प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्माद श्रील भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जाए श्रील प्रभुपाद पार्षद वृंद की जाए श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल पतदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जाए श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाए नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाए प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाए सर्व अभिष्ट विदाते गिरिराज महाराज की जाए श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाए श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जाए श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाए श्री भक्ति देवी की जाए श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाए श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाए श्री भगवान नृसिंहदेव की जाए भक्ति विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंहदेव की जाए श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंह की जाए भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जाए श्री नृसिंह चतुर्दशी व्रत की जाए श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाए समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम हरि बोल. So I am Dandavat Pranam Surup Manjari Didi. So as you'll see in the description, I posted all the different links that are on purebhakti.com, and I'm probably not going to read all of them. We'll just see. I'm feeling really spaced out and like, I don't know why, but yeah, I'm just feeling kind of out of it today. But I'm just going to keep on reading until I get to, yeah, once I start stuttering too much and I'm getting like a bit too out of it. So let me just share my screen with you. And we'll begin from the first one. There are how many articles? There are 6 articles by my Gurudev on Sri Nrsimha-deva, and so we'll just go one by one. And then hopefully in the evening, I'll still have internet because there is a tufan coming right now. Tufan Yas. I don't know what time it's supposed to hit here. But once it does come, then the internet might be out, so I might not be able to read this evening. Anyhow, let's just begin. I haven't looked at any of these articles yet. I'm looking at them all for the first time with you all. So I don't know if there's repeats or what. How to observe Nrsimha Caturdasi. This is class given in Badger, May 5th, 2001. It's the evening class by my Śrīla Gurudev Nitil Pravishta Mushbhad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Before I begin my class, I want to announce that tomorrow is Nrsimha Caturdasi Vrat. Out of mercy, Nrsimhadeva came, saved Prahlāda Maharaj, and killed the big demon Hiranyakashipu on this very day, on Caturdasi of this month. We should try to observe this vrat. It is better if we fall nirjala, a full fast, and not even drink water. In India, almost all devotees do nirjala, but for you Western devotees, we give concession. You may take something, but not corn, wheat, rice, grains, or anything made with grains. You can take some vegetables, juice, milk, yogurt, and so forth, but don't take so much. And if you are not taking anything, then that will be very good. The mercy of Nrsimha-deva will come upon you. We should also consider that Srila Swami Maharaj gave concessions, and therefore you can observe the vrat like that. But you should all observe Nrsimha Caturdasi from the beginning of the day. After morning arti, you can also sing the kirtan of Nrsimha-deva, Namaste Nṛsiṁha-deva Prahlāda. From the beginning of our daily routine of classes, besides Srila Narayan Maharaj's morning and evening classes, there are usually 3 other classes given by other devotees. So from the beginning of our daily routine of classes, we should try to explain the 6 of 7 chapters in the 7th canto regarding Prahlāda Maharaj. Also, at midday, you should make an offering of bhog to Lord Nrsimhadeva. You can offer grains and all else to Nrsimhadeva, because he is not bound by any restrictions. In this class, we will explain so many things about the teachings of Prahlāda Maharaj, and after that, there will be a drama play showing the pastimes of Prahlāda and Nrsimhadeva. Then, May 7th, is the disappearance day of Madhavendra Puri. We should try to glorify him, how he performed the Anukut festival. At the time of Krishna, Nanda Baba and all the Brajvasis performed Anukut, and after a long period, Madhavendra Puripad observed it to serve Gopal Dev, who had just been taken out of the earth. By Gopal Dev's order, Madhavendra Puri performed so many wonderful activities, and therefore we should glorify him. We should prepare for Anukut, as we have done in past years. All the lady devotees are very expert in making various kinds of preparations, including so many different kinds of sweets, pickles, juices, and so on. They can make chapatis, puris, kachoris, halava, malpua, kheer, laddu, and many other items. There should be many kinds of preparations, but I want that the cooking should be properly organized. One lady or a group of lady devotees should make one kind of preparation, and other ladies will make other types of preparations. There should be no less than 364 different preparations. The men should supply all the ingredients, and you should check to make sure that all contribute something. In our badge vessels, we ended up getting past 1,000. Forgot exactly how many we made, but yeah, well past 1,000 different preparations. Those who will help in any way, even by giving just 1 grain for this Anukut Mahotsav, and those who help by words, will never have to beg. It may be that Lakshmi will have to beg from door to door, but those devotees will never be beggars. You should therefore try to help as much as possible. I want that at least 364 kinds of preparations, but everyone should coordinate so that all will not make the same thing. There should be different kinds of preparations. I think that Nanda Gopal Prabhu should make a team for this so that you can divide up all the seva. Puris, manohar laddus, and all other kinds of preparations should be made, so that Krishna will, out of greed, come to the festival. Then he will become Govardhan Hill, and he will taste everything. He will call out, Anure, Anure! On that very day, we will do Nagar Sankirtan as usual here, as well as Go Puja. A very calm and quiet cow with her calf should be brought, and we will worship that cow. We will also worship a qualified Vaishnava Brahman, a Brahman who is a devotee. Then we shall do Abhishek with many items, milk, yogurt, honey, ghee, sugar, and coconut water. After Abhishek, we will offer all the preparations to Govardhan. You should properly arrange for everything. We will hold Nagar Sankirtan as usual at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll carry all the preparations from here to Govardhan Hill, which is very nearby, close to the Yamuna, Shamakund, and Radhakund. We will do all this. We will do Parikrama of Giriraj Govardhan while dancing, and we will take all the preparations from there and bring them back here to the pavilion. After that, we will distribute prasadam to all the devotees, not to any special persons, but to all devotees. Then, in evening class, we will glorify Giriraj Govardhan, how he can give everything, who he is, and what is his swarup, his constitutional form. We will discuss whether we should worship him in his form as God or in his form as a devotee. We will discuss all these topics. All right, so we should do that also after, glorification of Giriraj Govardhan and Madhavendra Puri, which is that the day after, is that tomorrow? Let me just check the calendar. I think it's tomorrow. Yep, it is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the appearance of Sri Radharaman, the appearance of Srinivasacharya, appearance of Sri Madhavendra Puri, and disappearance of Sri Parameshwari Thakur. And also Buddha Purnima. So we will read about that all tomorrow. Haribol, Madhavi Didi Dandavat Pranams. Was I in that play? I can't remember. Maybe I probably was. I was probably one of the students. Yeah, actually, I think I have a picture of it. Yeah. I do have a picture of it. I remember now. But yeah, I didn't have any significant role. Govinda. Govinda was Prahlāda Maharaj. Govinda is always such a good Prahlāda Maharaj. Okay, the appearance day of Lord Nrsimha-deva. Okay, so this was given on the same day. Right? No, this is the next day. This was on the 5th, and this is on the 6th, 2001, Badger, California. Today is the appearance day of Lord Nrsimha-deva. What class of person was Hiranyakashipu? Was he a theist or an atheist? He was a theist. From Shastra it appears that he believed in God, but he was against him. He wanted to kill him, and he had no honor for any of his devotees. He wanted to conquer him and defeat him, because it was natural for him. How was it natural? It was natural because he was Vijay, the associate of Narayan. Why did he fall down from Narayan Lok? Vaikuntha and Goloka are both beyond the influence of Maya. They are beyond Viraja Nadi, the river that is situated between the material and spiritual worlds. There is no chance of falling down from there. Even so, we see that he fell down. Why? Then my Gurudev calls on Shamarani Mataji to speak. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Narad Muni, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Narad Muni, you say that the sages cursed Jai and Vijay to fall to this material world. But I don't believe that any associate of the Lord in Vaikuntha can fall down. They all have spiritual bodies, not material bodies, and matter can never touch them. My Srila Gurudev. There is no possibility of a curse there, and yet we see that he fell down. Why? Shamarani Mataji. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Krishna's Icha Shakti, his desire potency, Yoga Maya, was actually responsible for their coming to this world, not Mahamaya. All the propensities that we have in this world are present in their original perfect form in the Lord himself. So he also has the viraras, the chivalrous propensity. He likes to mock fight, just as boys like to mock fight in this world. However, as everyone in Vaikuntha worships him in awe and reverence, who would fight with him there? Seeing the Lord's desire, and seeing the desire of Jaya and Vijay to always please him, Yoga Maya personally inspired them to become angry when the 4 Kumars tried to enter. In their travels, the 4 Kumars had come to Vaikuntha, but the gatekeepers Jaya and Vijay blocked their path. The 4 Kumars therefore told them, "Oh, you have a materialistic mentality, and you are affected by the modes of nature. You are not qualified to be in Vaikuntha." This was all by the arrangement of Yoga Maya so that the Lord could come to this world as Nrsimhadev and fulfill his fighting propensity. He would never fight with a demon or an atheist. Only his devotee is qualified to fight with him. Dandavat, dandavat. Ekon amar path chalche. Live class chalche. ঠিক আছে একটা পরে আসবে না Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is all by the arrangement of Yoga Maya so that the Lord could come to this world as Nrsimhadev and fulfill his fighting propensity. Sorry guys. He would never fight with a demon or atheist. Only his devotee is qualified to fight with him, and therefore his devotee had to come to this world with him to fight with him and fulfill that desire. So I totally got distracted by that. Oh, you have a materialistic mentality and you are affected by the modes of nature. You are not qualified to be in Vaikuntha. This is all arrangement at Yogamaya. Okay, sorry. I was thinking of something else while I was reading. Śrīla Nārāyaṇa Mahārāja, Śrīla Gurudev. Very good, but some correction is needed. First, you should know the nature of bhakti. It is to always please and satisfy the Lord, nothing else. Jaya and Vijaya are eternally liberated. They saw that there is something in my Prabhu's heart. He wants to taste and enjoy Viraras. They knew this, and they started to worry. How can we fulfill his desire? We cannot fight in this body, but we want to satisfy him. At once Narayan knew. They want to fulfill my desire. He remembered Yogamaya and told them, "Wait a little, and I will give you a good chance to fight with me and satisfy me." By the influence of Yogamaya, the 4 Kumars were then attracted to come to Vaikuntha. There is no possibility of being angry in Vaikuntha. That place is not like the material world. Rather, it was by the influence of Yogamaya that Jaya and Vijaya became angry and wanted to stop the 4 Kumars from entering. There was also no chance that Jaya and Vijaya could check them. No one can stop anyone there. Therefore, it was done by Yogamaya. Jaya and Vijaya challenged these 4 Kumars who had come there naked. They said, "Oh, you must be properly dressed to go before our Prabhu." Having been stopped, the 4 Kumars became angry and cursed the doorkeepers. In the meantime, Narayan himself came and told the Kumaras, "Please forgive my 2 boys. They are always serving me, so please forgive them." Narayan then removed his Yogamaya. Now free from the influence of Yogamaya, the 4 Kumars began lamenting and weeping. They realized, "What have we done? We have committed an offense." Narayan assured them, I have done this. I wanted to play in the material world and to enjoy Viraras, and thus I am fulfilling the desire of my 2 eternal servants. Now they will go to the material world, and there, in 3 births, they will satisfy my desire. I will taste Viraras with them, because no one else is qualified to enjoy that ras with me. Jaya and Vijaya were not at all deviated from Vaikuntha. In one form, they were always in Vaikuntha, and in another form, as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, Ravan and Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal and Dantavakra, they came to the material world in 3 births. Krishna killed them, and being thus purified, so-called purified, they returned to Narayan Loka. No one can ever fall or deviate from Goloka Vrindavan or from Narayan Loka. Chitraketu Maharaj also was cursed by Parvati Devi, and he took his next birth as the demon Vrittasura, but he was never actually a demon. Bharat Maharaj is another example. He had attained Bhav Bhakti, but even from that platform, no one can deviate. But we see that he came in the form of it. In his next life, he came as a deer. But he wasn't just any ordinary deer. So for Shiksha, for teaching us, they have performed pastimes like these. We should try to learn what they are teaching. We should try to learn what they are trying to teach us, and we should never commit offenses at the lotus feet of any high-class devotees. In this way, to teach us, Jaya and Vijaya were Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Hiranyakashipu had faith in God, but because he had killed his brother, he was against him and wanted to take revenge by killing him. It was for this reason that he was also against Prahlāda Maharaj. He demanded, "Why are you on the side of Vishnu? I don't want that. I have given birth to you. I have given you birth, and I have given you everything. I have supported and nourished you, and I am sending you to school to become educated. Why are you on the side of that Vishnu? I don't like this at all. You are like the handle of an axe. Alone, the head of the axe cannot do anything. However, as soon as there is a handle, that axe can cut down a tree. You are like that handle, and you are cutting me. The story begins thus. In the council of Yudhishthira Maharaj, when a fire sacrifice was being performed, Krishna took his chakra and cut off the head of Shishupal. A light came from Shishupal's body and merged into the lotus feet of Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj thought, "Oh, how wonderful this is! How did he merge into Krishna? So many rishis are performing severe austerities, day and night, not sleeping, standing on their toes, sometimes even standing upside down on their thumbs, not taking any water, and not even breathing air. Still, doing this for a very long time, they cannot attain liberation. But Shishupal achieved this in a moment. How wonderful this is!" Krishna is neutral. God is neutral to all. All are his parts and parcels. Then why does he take the side of the demigods and become the enemy of the demons? He helps the demigods and kills the demons. Why? For him, both are the same. The answer to this question is that although Krishna is always neutral, his specialty is that he is not whoa, I have never seen this word before. Oh no, it's two words. He is not impartial or neutral in regard to his devotees. Where devotees are concerned, he cannot be neutral. For general persons, he is neutral. Otherwise, he would not be God. God is love, and love is God. Krishna is love. Where does love live? In the abode of love. Who is the abode of love? The devotees. Therefore, Krishna must be partial to them. He's Bhakta Vatsal. Narad replied to Yudhishthira Maharaj's questions by narrating the history of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlāda Maharaj. Just checking the internet still working? Yes, it is. All right. Hiranyakashipu sent Prahlāda Maharaj to school. Okay, don't think that word went is supposed to be there. And after 4 or 5 months, he returned home. After his mother decorated him, Hiranyakashipu came and took him in his lap, smiling and caressing him. He said, "Oh, my dear son, what have you learned in school from your Gurudev?" Prahlāda replied boldly. What did he reply? Then my Gurudev calls an Ashram Maharaj, Aranya Maharaj, Prem Prayojan Prabhu. I'll just call him Aranya Maharaj because that was his name at the time. Shripad Aranya Maharaj. Prahlāda Maharaj sat on the lap of his father, and his father's heart was melting with parental affection with tears in his eyes. He was proud, thinking, "My son is so qualified." Srila Gurudev. This is a very interesting subject. You may read Srimad Bhagavatam, but the deep meaning will not come to you. One second. You cannot read Srimad Bhagavatam on your own. Even if you are hearing from others, if they are not high-class devotees, they cannot give the deep meanings. Only Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī, Śrīla Sanatana Goswami Pad, and Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur can give these meanings. If anyone is not in their line, they cannot give such meanings. We are speaking from the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami. Shripad Aranya Maharaj. His father wanted to know, "My dear son, what is the best thing you have learned?" Prahlāda Maharaj replied very politely and without any fear at all. Tatsarumanye asuravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhyam asadgrahat hitvatma patam grihamandakupam vanam gato yad dharimashrayeta. O my dear father, Asura Varya Dehinam, O best among all the demons. Srila Gurudev, one second. I just remembered. I meant to meet with Jai Gopal today. I just want to send him a message. Okay, sorry. That's oh, my dear father, Asura Varya Dehinam, oh, best among all the demons, Srila Gurudev. Hearing this, Hiranyakashipu became very happy. He was thinking, I am emperor of all the demons. Demons are very proud that we are demons, and the demigods are also thinking, we are very proud that we are demigods. They are also full of pride. Shripad Aranya Maharaj. Tatsadu manye suravarya dehinam. O best of the demons, O best of the demons. In this world, those who have accepted this temporary body to be the self and to be the source of and basis of happiness, who accept this body to be real, become constantly afflicted by one problem after another, one anxiety after another, like endless waves in an ocean. They are always embarrassed. The best thing that I have learned is that such persons have fallen into a deep, dark well. Household life in which one identifies with the body, considering one's family members, household goods, property, and wealth to be one's own, is like a deep, dark, dangerous well. Hitvatma patam. This path of life is a path that completely checks the progress of the soul towards the goal of life, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the best thing I have learned is that such persons should get out of that dark well. Vanam gato yad dharimashrayeta. They should go to the forest, especially Vrindavan forest. This means that they should go to the holy place, to that holy place, which is sacred because of the presence of pure devotees, and being in good association, they should unconditionally take shelter and surrender at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In his commentary of this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the meaning of Griham Andakupam, the dark well of this world. Once upon a time, a man was in a forest. He heard the sound of a tiger. Being afraid, he tried to run away because there was a chance that the tiger would eat him. He was looking here and there for some shelter, but he could not find shelter anywhere. Finally, he came across a blind well. This was a well that was no longer being used, and some grass and trees had grown over the top. Taking the help of 2 branches of a tree, he lowered himself down into the well, thinking, the tiger cannot come down here to get me. As he was going down, he saw that the bottom of the well was dry, and that there were many snakes living there. They raised their hoods, hissing, and they were ready to bite him. Now he was really in a predicament, hanging from 2 branches halfway down a well. At the bottom, there are so many poisonous snakes waiting to bite him, and at the top, there is a ferocious tiger just waiting to eat him. At that time, he was suffering in great anxiety. On the top of the well, there were 2 rats, one black and one white, and they were nibbling away at the very same branches onto which he was holding. Now it was only a question of time. Either he had to climb out and be eaten by the tiger, or he would have to go down and be bitten by the snakes. He could not stay where he was for long, because the rats would gradually eat away the branches and he would fall down. Whatever he would do, he would suffer and come to a very gruesome end. At that time, when he was in this very precarious situation, he noticed a honeycomb on a branch of the tree. Because the tree was shaking, some honey was dripping, and it just happened to be dripping very close to his face. Taking this golden opportunity, he stuck out his tongue, and a drop of honey came onto the tip of his tongue. He took that honey into his mouth and began to relish the flavor, thinking, "How sweet! How sweet!" And thus he felt some happiness. This is the example of all the conditioned souls, like you and me, here in this world. We are in a very dangerous situation. Srila Gurudev, especially lusty people, those who are engaged in sense gratification, are in this position. They are going to die at any moment. There is no way for them to be saved from death. There is only one person who can be saved. but we will tell you afterwards who that is. Śrī Radharani Mahārāja. It seems that this person is now experiencing some happiness. It seems that in this world there are so many people who are well situated, who are content and who are satisfied with their situation. But what is their happiness? It is just like the happiness of this man when he tastes a drop of honey. Why? All the components of this analogy represent the conditions in our lives. The snakes are hissing, and they represent so many problems. Srila Gurudev. These problems will come one after another like an ocean of waves. We think, oh, this is the last problem, and after that we will be happy. But then even bigger waves come. Those who are surfers will know better than I do. Śrīpad Aranya Maharaj. This world is made of problems and nothing else. There are only problems and problems. And yet the conditioned soul in this world is very surprised when he meets a problem. He thinks, where did this problem come from? He later overcomes the problem with a great hope and aspiration that when this problem is gone, all of my problems will be gone. And then, what a surprise! Another problem comes. Srila Gurudev. Not only one, so many come. Śrīpad Radharani Mahārāja. Not one at a time, but 5 at a time, 6 at a time. And these are like so many poisonous snakes in the bottom of the well. At the top of the well is a tiger. He represents death. Death is waiting for everyone in this world. It must come and devour them and take away everything. Srila Gurudev. There is no fixed time. It can come at any moment. Death will not give even 1 minute's notice, allowing that I may speak with others and then die. At once it will come. What are the 2 trees? Śrīpad Radharani Mahārāja. This person was hanging from 2 trees. These 2 trees represent our karma, our fruit of activities, good and bad, pious and impious. We are living our life in the experience of the reactions of our pious and impious activities. This is the duration of our life, and it is being taken away moments by moment. Regarding the rats, the black rat represents nighttime, and the white rat represents daytime. We are very happy. Very happy when another day comes and goes, but actually, each day and night will never come back. Gelo je divas na asibe ar. In this way, the duration of our life is being gnawed away. What is it? Udita tapana hoile asta dina gelo boli hoibe vyasta. Srila Gurudev. All around are problems and dangers, and in the midst of this, 1 drop of honey comes. What is that 1 drop? Śrīpad Radharani Mahārāja. Even though we are in this very dangerous predicament, we may feel some happiness, and that is like the drop of honey. This drop of honey represents the affection of our friends and family members in this world. After suffering so much, being repeatedly abused and treated badly in the course of doing one's work, a man returns to his home, and his wife meets him with very sweet words. Oh, honey, you are back. I have been waiting to see you. He takes this honey. His children jump in his lap and say, oh, daddy, daddy, can you give us $100? In this way, even though there is danger and suffering everywhere, when he takes this 1 drop of honey in the form of affection of so many people in this world with whom he has a temporary relationship, the man feels, my life is successful. This is the purport of the verse spoken by Prahlāda Mahārāja. Srila Gurudev. We are all in this position. How can anyone be happy in this situation? Another example has been given as a supplement. A deer was grazing in a lush green forest, and all of a sudden he saw that he was surrounded by so many problems. On one side there was a hunter with 2, what's that? Alsatian dogs. On the other side there was a forest fire. On the third side there was a very big and deep river. and on the fourth side was a big net. Seeing that he was completely surrounded, the deer became very frightened and thought, "What should I do?" At once he closed his eyes and prayed to Krishna, "O Krishna, I am yours. I am surrendering to you. Save me, save me." When the deer took shelter, what did Krishna do? A big gust of wind came with many pebbles and dust, which got into the eyes of the hunter as he was drawing his bow. Taken by surprise and unable to see, he let loose an arrow that pierced the eyes and mouths of the dogs, who were killed at once. It began raining, and thus completely extinguishing the fire, and the net was caught in the wind and blew away. 3 sides were now open, and the deer jumped and ran away. Therefore, if anyone is in the well and chanting, it may be that by the mercy of Krishna, a hunter will come and kill that tiger. He will lower a rope into the well, saying, "Oh, you should take hold of this rope and come out." He will save you. Krishna is so merciful. We are surrounded by these death traps. Guru realizes this, and he wants to help us all. On one side there is death, and on another side there are so many problems. On a third side, some madhu, some honey is dripping, and the rats are gnawing at the branches. You are all in this situation, and you do not understand this. Don't think that this is our first life, our first birth. You have enjoyed so much sex life, and you are very lusty like pigs and hogs. Day and night you are not resting. You are having sex, and you are creating so many children. Previously, in past lives, all of you were even demigods. You have also come in a human form before, but you lost that time. Again, after lakhs and lakhs of births, you are now here in a good association with a very good body. This is likened to a strong boat with favorable winds. Krishna has arranged for you to have such high-class association. Krishna has given all of you this auspicious opportunity, and still you think, "I want a nice teenage girl who is very beautiful. I want to marry and taste sense gratification." Those who think in this way are foolish, mad persons. I cannot give any appropriate name for them. Don't be angry with me for saying so, but they are rascals, worse than hogs or pigs. Oh, my dear rascals, don't go there. At once come out and be with me. Come back to God and back to home. Even you old persons, why do you want to marry again? Perhaps you are very lusty. My dear friends, don't be angry with me. I am your well-wisher, your eternal well-wisher. So come and follow me. By the order of Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj, my Gurudev, and my Guru Parampara, I have come here to save you from this vast ocean of lust. Don't go there. Otherwise, a big Mahabharata battle will come, and you will be killed. Try to realize this. Be free from all these worldly things, and from the Andakupa, deep dark well that has been described in Prahlāda Charitra, the history of Śrī Prahlāda Maharaj. Be very careful. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Where is this class from? Okay, this is from 14th May, 2003. This is also given in Badger. directly. He is none other than Chakra. Krishna's Chakra, wheel-shaped weapon, becomes Nrsimha-deva. When there is a temple installation of Chakra, the prayers are offered to Nrsimha. Bhakta Rakshak Śrīla. Yeah, we glorify Sudarshan as Rakshak and Nrsimha-deva. Lord Nrsimhadeva's main mercy is to protect the devotees. The Chakra who saved Ambarish Maharaj was Nrsimha himself, and the Chakra who killed Shishupal was also Nrsimha-deva. There is no difference between the two. All the paraphernalia, the weapons in the hands of Krishna, manifest as his Vishnu incarnations. And it can also be said that his incarnations are manifestations of Baladev Prabhu. If you have any difficulties or problems given by demons or others, you can call Nrsimha-deva. He will come and save you. Vaishnavas therefore have a special consideration regarding Nrsimha-deva. We do not worship many other incarnations like Vamandev or Kurmadev or Kalki, but we do worship Nrsimha-deva. Since there will be no cooking in the morning or midday today, I would like all the sannyasis and prominent speakers, one by one, to read continuously from the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, and also to explain the verses up to Prahlāda Maharaj refusing to accept a material boon from Lord Nrsimhadeva. The reading should include the way in which Prahlāda taught all the demon boys and made them Mahabhagavats. In other words, it should include the chapter in which the verse beginning Guru Shushrūshaya is included. I would like that all of you attend and hear these readings. There is no need of taking prasad before dusk, the time of Nrsimhadeva's appearance. Only children and those who are old and sick, or those whose doctors had advised not to fast, they may take a little something for their maintenance. And if Nrsimhadeva sees that you are all fasting and taking so much trouble, he will be pleased. Otherwise, if you joke and make merry, he will neglect you. It is for Nrsimhadeva that you are accepting this austerity, for all of you to attract his mercy. Today we do this austerity, as we do on Ekadashi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day, Ram Navami, and other holy appearance days like Janmashtami and Radhashtami. These austerities are not like those performed by the yogis. These are performed to attract Krishna's mercy, so try to follow. I now want to begin our glorification of Lord Nrsimhadeva. Yudhishthira Maharaj once performed a Rajasuya sacrifice. He sent his army under the guidance of Bhima and Arjuna to conquer the entire world, but he did not want to kill anyone. He told his leaders that if the kings and princes of the other lands surrender without fighting, they should simply take a tax from them, and those kings and princes who wanted to fight could fight. Bhima and Arjuna traveled everywhere. And took taxes from all, and when they returned, a very high class of fire sacrifice was performed. The question arose at the sacrifice as to who would be worshipped first, and that the festival would be successful. Sahadev proposed Krishna because he is the Lord of Lords, the Supreme Lord, and he is here. Bhishma, Grandfather Bhishma, and others supported this proposal, but Shishupal became very angry. At that time, Shishupal was the leader of Duryodhana and all the other demons. He was envious of Krishna and wanted to kill him. He knew about the foretelling at his birth that Krishna would kill him, so he thought that he should kill Krishna first and be saved. He had previously wanted to marry Rukmini, but clever Krishna had kidnapped her in front of him and all the other princes and kings, defeated them all, and then married her. Krishna is satisfied, he is Purna. He needs nothing in this world, and he has nothing to take from anyone. Still, for the enactment of his transcendental pastimes, he killed Rukmini. Still, for the enactment of his transcendental pastimes, he kidnapped Rukmini and married her, and Shishupal and the others could simply wring their hands. When Krishna was leaving in their midst with Rukmini, when Krishna was leaving there mixed with Rukmini, the other princes and kings had exclaimed, "Alas, this bogus black person, in front of generals like Jarasandha and others, has kidnapped her, and they could not stop him. He has defeated them all and took her away." Thus Shishupal wanted to take revenge. Now, at the Rajasuya sacrifice, he looked at Krishna and began to criticize him and call him ill names. He challenged, "Who is this person? Who is this person?" Krishna actually has no father or mother, but Shishupal accused him that this person has 2 fathers, and no one knows who his real father is. He has no varna, no caste, and no one knows where he is from. And no one knows where he is from. Where am I? He is not only a thief, but a lusty person, very lusty. When he sees any lady, he becomes attracted, and somehow, by trick, he brings those ladies to him. Moreover, he is not satisfied with only one lady, he must have thousands and millions of ladies. Not only this, he once climbed onto a tree with the garments of the gopis who were taking bath naked, and he told them that they should come before him one by one to get their clothes. What is this silly thing? You have no intelligence. You are so mad that you have selected him to be worshipped first. As long as I am here, I will not allow this. Hearing this, Duryodhana and other demons clapped. Shishupal considered that as long as he was present, he would not let anyone perform their first worship to Krishna. He said that he would fight for this not to happen, and thus he managed to utter his 100th offense. When Shishupal's mother had given birth to him, he had 4 arms. At that time, an aerial voice announced that the person who Shishupal would see and 2 of his arms would disappear, that person would later kill him. All the relatives had come to see this beautiful and strong 4-handed child. Out of social custom, Krishna took many ornaments for that boy, and being a representative of his father, he see his cousin brother. When he came near Shishupal, he wanted to take him in his arms, but Shishupal's 2 arms appeared. His mother began to weep loudly and said, "You are my nephew, so I want a boon from you. It has been foretold by voice that whoever thus making his 2 arms disappear would later kill him. I pray for you not to kill him, even if he offends you." Krishna replied, "Oh yes, I am giving you this boon. I will kill him only when he abuses me more than 100 times. Otherwise, I will not." His mother was very happy and said, "He will never do this. I will train him and teach him good behavior." When Shishupal became older, he learned of this fact. He therefore became angry and continuously abused Krishna. Now, so I guess he would abuse him to 88 abuses, 89 abuses, 99 abuses, 90 abuses, and then stop. And then it would go back down to 1 again. So when Shishupal... আচ্ছা এটা আমার স্যানিটাইজ করেন ঠিক আছে আমি দেখছি এক সেকেন্ড না এটা হ্যাঁ এটা আমার হ্যাঁ আমার কিন্তু আমি জানি না এটা কি কি জিনিস স্যানিটাইজ করতে হবে তাই বলছি আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে আমি বললাম স্যানিটাইজ করেন ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে When Shishupal became older, now when he had abused him more than 100 times, Krishna took his chakra. The chakra wanted to go very fast, not slowly as it had moved when it had chased Durvasa. It had been only following behind Durvasa and not killing him. Hare Krishna. Sorry. The package arrived, by the way. Okay, for Shishupal, on the other hand, it sliced off his head at once. A very effulgent light immediately came from Shishupal's body. That light went into the sky and then entered the body of Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj wondered why rishis, yogis, and maharshis, after thousands of births of chanting mantras like Soham, Soham, could still not attain the destination of Sayuja Mukti and personal liberation. How wonderful it was, then, that this light entered the lotus feet of Krishna. But where did it go? Narayan was present within Krishna's body, because all the incarnations are always in Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Shishupal thus returned to Narayan and Vaikuntha and became his doorkeeper Jai. But this was not seen externally. The entire world is in the stomach of Krishna. Narayan and other incarnations can also easily fit there, but still his stomach can be empty and he can feel hungry. Yudhishthira Maharaj was not an ordinary person. Bhima was very strong and powerful, and Arjuna was also. However, when we consider who was stronger, Yudhishthira, we find that where Arjuna and Bhima were not successful, Yudhishthira Maharaj was successful by his mere glance. Bhima was at once wrapped up by the snake, and that snake would not release him. Yudhishthira then came, simply glanced at that serpent, and it left at once. So do not think that Bhishma and Arjuna are more powerful than Yudhishthira. Arjuna's bhakti is superior to the others, but dharma was especially present in Yudhishthira Maharaj. That is why he was called Dharmaraj, and that is why he was so powerful. When Yudhishthira Maharaj saw Shishupal's soul enter Krishna's when he saw Shishupal's soul enter Krishna's body, he began to think, how wonderful! Even a yogi, rishi, or muni does not receive this kind of mercy from Krishna. He then asked Narad Rishi, you know everything and you can remove all my doubts, so please explain this. Krishna has no fear of anyone and he does not want anything from anyone. He is Purnatam, complete, Atmaram, always happy internally, and Aptakam, satisfied and equal to all. So why does he take the side of devotees and demigods? And why does he defeat or kill demons? I want to know why. And just 1 second here. Jagopal just answered me, and I just want to respond because this is important. It has to do with the Gaudiya Kirtan app. One second. Manana is Jai Nṛsiṁha-deva. So yeah, Nṛsimha Caturdasi would be a great day to meet, actually, because Nṛsimha Caturdasi is like Akshay Tritiya in that way. So I think that would be a very good, auspicious start to our continuing work on the Gaudiya Kirtan app. All right, I will let you go to sleep. Hari Bol. That was perfect. Okay, so let me. So why does he defeat or kill demons? I want to know why. Narad replied that the cause of all of this is kal, time, the results of past activities. Sometimes, like during Satya Yuga, the age of goodness, the demigods and others like them become prominent. In Kali, the demons are more. It seems that Krishna helps certain personalities, but actually the events of this world are controlled by time. Krishna is equal to all, and everything here is thus due to Kal. You should not be angry or criticize anyone. If you are in distress or disturbed by many problems, it is due to you yourself. Tateno kampam susamikshano punjana atma kritam hridvag vapurvir vidhan namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadai bak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for salvation, for it has become his rightful claim. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8. Eva Atma Kritam. What one has done in the past is now coming back. If one is a pure bhakta and the results of all his past activities are finished, why would problems come to him? His so-called problems are due to the mercy of Krishna. Problems are not coming. Krishna is sending them. The Pandavas were praying for a great calamity so that Krishna would be with them. Krishna gave them great distress, as he gave to Draupadi when Dushashan tried to remove her clothes. And he did the same to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He gave Prahlāda Mahārāja so many troubles. Why? He considered, the entire world should know that my devotees are exalted, and they do not care about saving themselves, so I must save them. You can know all these truths by reading Śrīmad Bhagavatam. You should read Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7 until 6 p.m., at which time I will return, and then we will perform Abhishek, the bathing ceremony of Nrsimha-deva. Some flowers should also be here for offering. We will observe today as we do Ekadashi, and we can break our fast after Nrsimha-deva's birth, dusk. If anyone wants to break his fast before that time, he may take only fruits and vegetables. If anyone wants to fast until tomorrow morning, he can do so very easily. Then tomorrow we will worship Nrsimha-deva, and after that we will take prasad. Now bring 7th canto and begin. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Alright, so now let's read the next one. Let's see if the internet's still working. Looks like it is. Alright. Oh, Manjari, yeah, no problem if you have to leave. If anybody has to leave, no problem. And if you want to continue tomorrow, cool thing on YouTube is that you can listen to everything in double speed. The appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadeva. Okay, if he tells the whole beginning part of the story again, I don't think we should read it a third time. Yes, okay, this is not. Okay, so this is a class that my Gurudev gave 10th May 1998. Lord Nrsimhadeva's Mercy. This was given in Wales, UK. Oh, my sister organized that festival in Wales. Lord Nrsimhadeva's Mercy. Ito Nrsimha parato Nrsimha yato yato yamitato Nrsimha bahir Nrsimha hridaya Nrsimha Nrsimha-deva Sharanam Prapade. Ito Nrsimha parato Nrsimha. Nrsimha is here, Nrsimha is there. Above, below, in front, in back, in all corners and everywhere else. Wherever I go, wherever I walk and travel, I see Nrsimha everywhere. He is in our heart. He is in the creepers and plants, and everywhere else. There is not a single place, even an atom, where he is not present. Since he is everywhere, if you pray to him to save you, he will come at once and save you as he saved Prahlāda Mahārāja from Hiranyakashipu. He will take away all of your problems, as he took away all the problems of Prahlāda Mahārāja. He quickly destroyed Prahlāda's demoniac father Hiranyakashipu, who had been given a boon of immortality. Hiranyakashipu was strong like iron. He was blessed not to die in the sky by weapons, demons, humans, animals, fire, poison, or any other force of this world. Still, Nrsimha-deva killed him very quickly. Nrsimha-deva sharanam prapade. We take shelter of Nrsimha-deva. If you experience any difficulty, and Manjari, I will sing that song. Maybe in the evening time, I'll sing the song. If you experience any difficulty or danger in your life, you can chant this mantra. Lord Nrsimha surely will save you. He has come only to save you. You can test this. If you are very faithful to him, as Prahlāda Mahārāja was faithful, he will take away all your difficulties in chanting, remembering, and becoming a pure devotee. He has come as the embodiment of Krishna's mercy, so especially today, and he will protect you from everything else. Oh, there's a recording of this. You want to hear the recording really quick? Let me find it. Srila Gurudev sang the mantra again along with the assembled devotees and proceeded to sing with them the mantra below. Prahlāda jai jai, Nṛsimha jai jai, Nṛsimha jai jai, Prahlāda jai jai. Let me just find it really quick. It should be in music. Go to your recordings. Let's find this. It is in Sanskrit section at the end. Sanskrit songs. 1 second, where is it? There it is. Here, this is a recording of my Gurudev singing this at this festival. Oh, shoot. It's not going to be possible because I have my mic plugged in. Let me take out my mic.
Nṛsimha-to Nṛsimha-ito Ito Nṛsimha-parto Nṛsimha Jato jato jantato Nṛsimha Ito Nṛsimha-parto Nṛsimha-deva Sharanam Prapade Prahlāda jai jai Nṛsimha jai jai Prahlāda jai jai Nṛsimha jai jai Nṛsimha jai jai Prahlāda jai jai Nṛsimha jai jai.
Okay, anyways, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because let me plug in the mic again. Alright, so Nrsimha is always to help us. He wants to help us, but we don't want his help. Prahlāda's mercy. It is rare to find anyone who has such faith and love and affection for Krishna as Prahlāda Mahārāja. Prahlāda tried to teach his demoniac father this beautiful truth. Naishammatistavad urukuramangrim sprishattena anartha pagamo yadartha mahiyasam pada rajobhishekam nishkinchanam na vrinita nishkinchananam na vrinitayavat. Bhagavatam 7.5.32. Unless they smear upon their bodies the lotus feet of a Vaishnava completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter of the Lord in this way can one be material contamination. Prahlāda told his father that those in material consciousness are blind, and they are like dogs. Dogs think that they are intelligent, but they are not. Śrī Prahlāda Uvaca Matirna Krishne Parata Svatova Mito Bipadyeta Griha Vratanam Adanta Gobir Vishutam Tamisram Puna Punascharvita Charvananam. See, like the dog is chewing the chewed. Prahlāda Mahārāja replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which is already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Some dogs once found a dry bone, which had absolutely no juice. One of the dogs approached that bone, quickly grabbed it with his teeth, and ran away. He then looked back toward the other 20 dogs, who now began to pursue him in order to take the dried, juiceless bone away from him. At last they all caught hold of him and began to viciously attack him. That dog, now full of injuries and blood, gave up that bone, his tail going inside his legs. He watched from the sidelines as another dog, while trying to relish the bone, was also violently attacked. We are like this. Our fathers and forefathers have tried to take the juice of material enjoyment from this world, tasting only the bone. If you ask your grandfathers, who are 80, 100 years old, if they are happy with their life's accomplishments, they will all say no. When you ask, why not? They will reply, I am now old. I cannot longer enjoy the taste of these wonderful foods because I cannot digest anything I eat. I am going to die. I am not happy. Their children consider, doing what we've seen our fathers and grandfathers do, we will now be very happy. Suppose a man thinks, I will drink a great quantity of wine. What will happen to him? He will become like a madman. He will faint and fall in a drain, at which time he will think, I am sitting on a golden throne. I am the monarch of all. Dogs will approach him, smell his body, and think, what a good smell. They will taste him with their tongues, and thus wash his face. Thus there is no real pleasure in worldly objects of enjoyment. Prahlāda Mahārāja explained this to Hiranyakashipu, hearing which, Hiranyakashipu became furious and decided to kill him. Hiranyakashipu tried several methods to kill him, which all subsequently failed, and he concluded, I cannot kill him. I fear that my death will come from him. It is I who will die. In the meantime, his very dear sister named Holika approached him and said, My dear brother, why are you so angry? Can I help you? He said, No one in this world can help me. Holika then said, I can help you. What do you want? He said, I want my son killed. She said, I can do this very easily. I performed severe austerities and received the benediction. I will not burn in fire. I now have this power. So I will bring that boy into a fire, and he will burn very easily. Hiranyakashipu began to laugh and said, Oh, sister, you have saved me. Holika replied, Yes, tomorrow you should arrange a heap of dry wood. I will then take that boy on my lap and sit in the heap of wood. Some ghee and oil should be put on the wood, and at once the fire will go so high that in a minute he will be burned out of the flames. The next morning, a very big heap of dry wood was brought and abundant ghee poured on there. Holika took Prahlāda and said, My nephew, come sit on my lap. I will give you so much milk to drink. She then sat comfortably in the midst of the dry wood and took Prahlāda on her lap. At once a fire was started all around, and very quickly created a great sound and began to touch the sky. All of the spectators watched as both Holika and Prahlāda were covered by fire, and considered that they must both have been burnt to death. Hiranyakashipu was quite satisfied, thinking that his sister would come to him laughing, and that Prahlāda Mahārāja would be finished. However, the present very soon saw Prahlāda Mahārāja walk out of the fire. Holika, on the other hand, was burned to ashes, never to return. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlāda Mahārāja, How were you saved? Prahlāda replied, When I was sitting there, I saw my auntie burn within a moment. At the same time, someone came to me and clothed me in an light covering. I was very easily saved, but was so worried for my dead auntie. Hiranyakashipu's fury rose. Prahlāda's teachers, the two sons of the depressed Hiranyakashipu's guru, drew near Hiranyakashipu and asked him, Why are you worried? You have conquered the entire world. You have conquered air, fire, all 5 elements. You should easily fly into the air, and you can take a thunderbolt and defeat Indra. So why are you worried? Wait a little. Our father will soon come and solve this problem. Prahlāda was again sent to school. Then, one day the teachers, desirous to engage in some household jobs, told him, Prahlāda, you should be the monitor to see that you should be the monitor and see that the other children do not do anything wrong. The boys can be somewhat naughty, so you must control them. We will return soon. Prahlāda's teachings. Prahlāda began teaching his fellow students about Krishna consciousness, but the boys initially resisted with the excuse that they would take up Krishna in their old age. They told Prahlāda that now was the time to play. Prahlāda replied, "We may die at an early age. We may even die when we are 7, 8, 9, or 10. If you die at a young age, you will not become old. In order to marry and become happy with family, and in order to nourish and support one's children, a person thinks, 'I will build a first-class house and make a beautiful garden. I will have strong, beautiful dogs, and I will enjoy.' This is a waste of time. We don't want to suffer, but suffering comes to us by our past birth's impressions. We don't want to become old, but old age also comes. If you have performed any positive activity in the past, your present happiness will come automatically. Maintenance of your life, your good wife, good children, and everything else will come automatically. Since happiness comes automatically as a result of life's activities, why are you thinking of making so many efforts to become happy? Why not chant Krishna's name and remember him from the beginning of life?" Prahlāda continued, "Now you boys of 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 years of age, now you're entanglements, and your hearts are like plain sheets of paper, without anything written there. Later, when you're mature, you will marry a beautiful lady. If you want to leave this world and to perform bhajan, she will weep. How will you be able to give up such a beautiful, qualified wife? Moreover, if you also have some children, beautiful sons or daughters, you will be very engaged in serving them. Even if you try to give them up, you will not be able to do so." One second, is my mic still working? Just checking. Shoot, the internet's going out. Anyhow, what to do? Even if you try to give them up, you will not be able to do so. If the children call out to you in their sweet voices in a broken language, "Father, Father, Father," how will you be able to give them up? You will think, "I must support all these children. They are babies and cannot do anything. If I give up my household life, they will all die." You may also lament, "Oh, my beautiful dog and cow cannot live without me." Suppose you make a good garden with many trees and flowers, and later you decide to give it up to associate with devotees to chant and remember Krishna. You will then consider, "Who will take care of this garden if I leave? All the flowers will die. You will not be able to leave." Prahlāda continued, "It is better that you chant and remember Krishna from childhood. When you are free from all these worldly entanglements." All the students were inspired, but at the same time, they had some doubt. We accept that what you're telling is true," they said. "Now we want to know where you learned all these truths. You always remain within the palace. You always remain within the palace where it is very difficult to associate with any great personality." Then Prahlāda tells his history. With a view to removing the doubts of his classmates, Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "Some time ago, when my father was angry with Lord Vishnu for killing his brother Hiranyaksha, he began to consider, 'My brother has been killed by Varaha-deva, an incarnation of Vishnu. If I take revenge against Vishnu now, he will surely kill me, so I should first become immortal.' He began to perform severe austerities at Mandarachal mountain, where he fully fasted from eating and drinking. He fasted even from dry leaves, and even water and air, for 60,000 years. He entered into a trance, and was thus oblivious to the fact that his body had been eaten by ants, and only his bones remained. In Satya Yuga, one's life could reside in one's bones, without the rest of the body. Nowadays, if we do not eat anything, we will die in 2 or 3 days. But at that time, it was different. In the meantime, the demigods became worried. In Hiranyakashipu's absence, therefore, the demigods, headed by King Indra, made an attempt to subdue all the demons in warfare. A great battle ensued between the demons and the demigods, wherein the generals of Hiranyakashipu were smashed. The victorious demigods plundered my father's palace and destroyed everything within it. Then Indra, king of heaven, arrested my mother, the queen, planning to a heavenly planet. The demigods considered that Prahlāda was probably a demon, like his father, so they planned to kill him as soon as they would take birth from his mother's womb. In the meantime, the sage Narad was coming from heaven and asked them, "Why are you doing such nonsense? You are demigods, and you are taking a lady in this way? She cannot fight with you, so why are you taking her? Moreover, there is a great devotee in her womb." Prahlāda continued, "When the Narad Muni spoke thus, King Indra immediately released my mother. Because of my being a devotee, all the demigods circumambulated her. Then, after they left for their celestial kingdom, Narad brought my mother to his ashram, assured her of all protection, and taught me within her womb the truths of bhakti." Further teachings of Prahlāda. Prahlāda continued, "We can never be happy by material activities. No one has become happy by such engagement. If you want to be happy in life, go to an expert guru and at once take initiation and a spiritual name from him. Then, under his guidance, try to follow the rules and regulations of devotion. Guru shushushaya bhaktya sarva labdharpanena cha sangena sarubhaktanam ishvararadhanena cha shraddhaya tat kathāyam cha kirtaner gunakarmanam tat padam buruhodhyanat talingekshārhanadibhi." Srimad Bhagavatam 7:30-31. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master, and in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord, hear the glory of the Lord with faith, glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord, always meditate on the Lord's lotus feet, and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the Shastra and Guru. The boys told Prahlāda, "This seems very difficult. We cannot do these things." Prahlāda replied, "Sarvesham api bhutanam hariratmeshvara priya bhattar maharbhi svakatai kritanam jivasamgita." Srimad Bhagavatam 7:49. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is the soul and the supersoul of all living entities. Every living entity is a manifestation of his energy in terms of the living soul and the material body. Therefore, the Lord is the most dear, and he is the supreme controller. Prahlāda assured his classmates, "There is nothing difficult in chanting Krishna's names, remembering him, and engaging in devotional activities for his pleasure. We are eternal servants of God, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore devotional service is our natural activity. We must accept that Krishna is our holy master, our father, mother, and all other relations. After going to a guru and receiving initiation, we then begin to learn spiritual activities and develop to the exalted stage of Uttama Bhakti, the topmost pure devotion. Guru will tell us everything about how to advance in devotion. Guru will tell us that there are 64 kinds of bhakti, among which 9 are prominent. Śrī Prahlāda Uvaca, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pungsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischan Avalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavadadya Tanmane Dhitamuttamam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:23-24. Hearing and chanting about the holy name, to the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. in other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Among these 9 limbs of bhakti, 5 are most prominent, are most important. Sadhu Sanganam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathuravas Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22:128. One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. Amongst all devotional activities, if one is not committing offenses and is touched by any of the 5 limbs, chanting the holy name, being in the association of a qualified Vaishnava Guru, worshipping the deity very faithfully, living in a holy place like Vrindavan, and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then he can attain all success. Sakala sadhana shishta e pancha anga, Krishna prema janma e pancher alpasanga. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22:129. These 5 limbs of devotional service are the best of all. Even a slight performance of these 5 awaken love for Krishna. Most important among the limbs of bhakti, which is also the root of bhakti, is Harinam Sankirtan. Dharmade sarva sheshta nama sankirtan, niraparada nama loile, pai prema dhan. Of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Prahlāda told the boys, "We should begin Harinam Sankirtan today." The boys asked, "How can we do this? Do we have to be expert in playing musical instruments? Do we have to bring any instruments?" Prahlāda replied, "There is no need. Krishna has given us the very beautiful kathās, the hand symbols of our hands." Actually, kara means hand and tal means rhythm. So kara tal means hand rhythm. The hand beats. So yeah, kara tali, that's actually how you say clapping in Bengali. Bajaiya kara tali, clapping the hands. We can clap on our hands. Krishna has also given us our tongue and mouth to sing in a sweet voice. Prahlāda Mahārāja then instructed them, "Repeat after me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." The boys told Prahlāda, "We are very tired. We want something easier. That is so long. We want an easy kirtan." Prahlāda told them, "Repeat after me again. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol." The boys all blissfully engaged with Prahlāda and Harinam Sankirtan. Hiranyakashipu's last try. After some time, Hiranyakashipu overheard what was taking place. Grabbing Prahlāda's hands, he demanded, "Shri Hiranyakashipur uvacha." Interesting, it says Shri Hiranyakashipur uvacha. "He durvinta mandatman kulabheda karadhama stabdam machasanoddvritvam neshetva dhyayamakshayam." Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.5. "O most impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, O lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you are an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the place of Yamaraj." Hiranyakashipu said, "What nonsense are you doing? You are so disobedient. You are like a dull stone with no intelligence at all. I am from an aristocratic dynasty. You have become like the handle of an axe that is trying to chop down my entire dynasty. I will teach you a lesson. I am now going to kill you. Let us see who will save you now." "My son Prahlāda, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the 3 worlds tremble along with their chief rulers." By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear to be fearless and overstep my power to rule you? Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.6. Prahlāda Mahārāja said, one second. Okay. Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "My dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength. Whether moving or non-moving, superior or inferior, everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.7. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlāda Mahārāja. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlāda Mahārāja, "Where is your Lord? Is he present within this pillar?" Prahlāda Mahārāja fearlessly replied, "Yes, my Lord is present everywhere." Satyam vidatam nijabhrita bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshvakileshu chatmana adrishyatatyadbhutarupamudvahan stambhe sabhayam namragam namanusam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.17. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlāda Mahārāja was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. To convince Hiranyakashipu that the statement of Prahlāda Mahārāja was unmistakably true, the Lord appeared from the pillar with flames emanating from his mane. By manifesting his form as Nrsimha-deva, the Lord also preserved the truth of Lord Brahma's promise that Hiranyakashipu was not to be killed by any animal or any man. The Lord appeared in a form that could not be said to be fully a man or a lion. He was extremely angry, and no one could pacify him. Brahma, Shankar, and all other demigods present became worried regarding how to pacify him. After offering him their beautiful prayers of glorification from a little afar, they requested Lakshmi Devi, "Please go and pacify your husband." She replied, Today I am afraid to go. He may also kill me." Next they requested Brahma, "You should go. He is like your father." Brahma replied, "Today I cannot go." Then they told Lord Shiva, "You are a friend of Krishna. You should go." Shiva replied, "Today we are not at all friends." Finally, Brahma requested Prahlāda, "You should go. He is like your father." Prahlāda Mahārāja immediately went to Lord Nrsimhadeva and jumped upon his lap. Nrsimhadeva at once became pacified, and tears fell from his eyes. He had been so angry, but now in a moment he was fully pacified. He began licking Prahlāda Mahārāja, as animals do, and said, I came so late, and I am upset about that. I want to give you a benediction." Prahlāda replied, "I am not a businessman. I do not perform devotional service to you in order for you to give me something in return. This is business. If any desire is hiding somewhere in my heart, please remove it so that I can become your pure devotee. You have asked me to take a benediction. That makes me think that there may be some material desire hidden in my heart, but I don't know where it is hidden." Lord Nrsimhadeva said, "I know that you are pure. You never require anything. Still, I desire that you take any benediction." Prahlāda Mahārāja replied, "If you insist that I take a benediction, I desire that you deliver my father. He has offended you and me, and he has given great troubles to all the devotees. He has cut down all the green trees so that no one would be able to get any wood or fruit. He killed many cows so that no one would be able to get milk, ghee, and butter to be used for devotional activities like homas, fire sacrifices, and offering bhog to the Lord. He has killed so many Brahmins, and in this way he has committed innumerable sins. Please forgive him." Lord Nrsimhadeva said, "Don't worry about this at all. Your father has already been liberated. In fact, 21 generations of your forefathers will be liberated. For the Uttama Adhikari, 21 generations of forefathers will be liberated. Regarding those who are Madhyam Adhikari, who are always chanting, remembering, and performing devotional activities, their relatives of 14 generations will be liberated. Regarding those who are Kanishta Adhikari, who are chanting and remembering, and who have taken initiation and are trying to engage in pure Harinam and other devotional activities, but cannot properly do so, 7 generations of their relatives will be liberated. I want to give you a benediction. My darshan should not go in vain. Prahlāda replied, all these conditioned souls who have forgotten you and who are engaged in many sinful activities are greatly suffering. I cannot tolerate their suffering. I desire that my pious and devotional activities be given to them, so that they may be liberated and become devotees. I want to take all the fruits of their sinful activities and suffer for them for millions of births. Nrsimhadeva said, in this conversation, you have won and I am defeated. I am giving you the benediction that all persons who hear the Hari Katha about myself and yourself, the pastimes of Prahlāda Mahārāja and Nrsimhadeva, will be very quickly liberated. They will not have to suffer. Those who hear, chant, and remember the sweet and powerful Hari Katha of Prahlāda Mahārāja and Lord Nrsimhadeva, who participate in today's Appearance Day festival and performs Abhishek here in Badger, will all be liberated by Lord Nrsimhadeva. He promises to take away all their suffering and sorrows, and he will surely fulfill his promise. We can have very strong faith that he will not cheat us. Whatever he promises to do, he will surely do. Have strong faith that he will be merciful to us, and that we will gradually develop our Krishna consciousness, and that he will give us inspiration. To accept the path of pure bhakti. Now let us first perform Sankirtan, and then perform the Abhishek, the auspicious bathing ceremony of Lord Nrsimhadeva. Wait, why did Gurudev say Badger here? I thought this is the class my Gurudev gave in Wales. Maybe this is 2 classes combined. Huh, interesting. Anyhow, now we will read okay, let's do this one first, because it's a little bit shorter. And that way, if the other one, if by the end of this, if we decide that it's too late, we can just stop. Oh, and this is part 1. Okay, this is part 1 on the subject of Prahlāda, and next is part 2. Oh, no, this is part 1. Okay, let's start from the beginning. But just give me a second. I'm just going to respond because somebody sent me a WhatsApp message. Just going to quickly respond to the message. Madhukar from Brazil is asking for Madhusudan Prabhu's number. I'm just going to give it to him. Madhusudan Prabhu. More. Where is share contact? Share, there it is. There. Done. Okay. Let me check the connection's still good. All right. Looks like it. On the subject of Śrī Prahlāda. This is a class given by my Śrīla Gurudev in Badger, California, May 14th, 2003, evening, part 1. Today is a very auspicious day. It is the appearance day of Sri Nrsimhadeva. I came here in the morning and requested that throughout the day, at least 12 speakers discuss this topic. Now I think it would have been better had they not spoken anything, but just read the verses and the purports given by Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja. Oh, I remember this. This would have been a million times better. I do not appreciate that they discussed topics that were not on the subject of Lord Nrsimha-deva. I wanted that the chapters on the pastimes of Śrī Prahlāda be read, from the first chapter to the end of the last chapter. I indicated this, but the speakers did not do so. I am very worried. How will they be able to preach if they cannot follow my instructions? This was not the appearance day of Jai and Vijay. That part should have been told in an outline. The speakers should have simply read Śrīmad Bhagavatam and its purports given by Śrīla Swami Mahārāja. I heard that one speaker said in his class that Ravan has 10 heads. What was the purpose? That was Damodar Maharaj. I remember that. What was the purpose of telling this today? Another bogus speaker also spoke out of subject by saying that Ravan attended the Swayamvar of Sita. What was the purpose of saying this? I don't know. They should have spoken about the teachings of Prahlāda to the children of the demons. That would have been very good, and I would have been very happy. Why do they speak out of subject? I don't know. How can they preach my mission? They should not speak out of subject at any time. I know that if I had told Mahibharat, Radhakanta, or Atul Krishna Prabhu, they would have done better than these speakers. I don't want in the future that they do all these unwanted things. All these unwanted things. I thought that they would read all Śrīmad Bhagavatam. That's what I told, but they haven't done. Perhaps he, Ashramaj, followed something, and Aranyamaj also spoke something. But for hours and hours, speakers were out of subject and telling bogus things. I think you shouldn't speak anything that I haven't told. Otherwise, you will speak so much out of subject and bogus things that were not written in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, or anywhere. Try to follow my example. I never leave the appropriate subject, and only speak what is written thoroughly in Śrīmad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. Only hear from bona fide persons. I wanted that all the best things be told. Be alert and be very careful about this. Now I am coming to the subject. When Prahlāda Mahārāja returns from the school of the atheist teachers Shanda and Amarka, and spoke to his father about the principles of Krishna consciousness, his father angrily told his teachers, I will take your heads. Why did you teach Prahlāda about devotional service to Vishnu? Trembling, the teachers replied, We have not taught Prahlāda this. We don't know why he is speaking about it. You can ask him whether we taught him this. Hiranyakashipu turned to Prahlāda and asked, Where have you learned this? If these two hadn't told you this, then who has told you? Why are you boldly saying these things about surrendering to Vishnu, my enemy? Then Prahlāda Mahārāja began to speak. Śrīla Gurudev asking one devotee, Do you remember this shloka? You should speak on this topic. I wanted that these subjects should have been spoken, but not sure what they spoke. Atul Krishna Das. Matirna Krishne parata svatova mito bipadyeta grihavratanam adanta gobhir vishatam tamisram puna punascharvita charvananam. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7.5.30. Materialistic persons are simply mulling over that which has already been mulled and chewing that which has already been chewed. Because their senses are not controlled, they are proceeding toward the dreadful hell of this material existence, repeatedly trying to enjoy that which has already been consumed. The intelligence of such materially attached persons can neither be turned towards Bhagavan Sri Krishna by their own endeavor, by the instruction of others, or by the association of similar materialistic persons. Prahlāda said, O my dear father, those whose consciousness is not fixed on Krishna but on other things, even if they take help from others, even if they come together, they will not be able to understand what is the goal of their life and what is in their self-interest. The real self-interest is to engage in Hari Bhajan. Their problem is that they have uncontrolled senses. They are griha vrata. They have taken a vow to remain in this world and somehow find happiness. Following their uncontrolled senses, they are chewing something that has already been chewed. There is no real enjoyment or ras in this material world, but we are very foolish that we are endeavoring so hard to get one drop of happiness. Following this path, they are going toward the darkest region of ignorance, and they will go to hell and suffer the reactions. Srila Gurudev. Who will go? Guru and disciple both will go to hell. Then Nate, and then I told Krishna Prabhu, Nate vidu svartagatim hi Vishnu, durashaya ye bahirartamanina, andayatandar upaniyamanas te pishatantram urudam nibadha. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life, and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to give up this material life and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached men are bound by the ropes of fruit of labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Prahlāda continued, they don't know that their real spiritual interest, the ultimate goal of life, is to worship Sri Krishna. Instead, they place all of their false hopes in trying to enjoy this world and place all their hopes in material things. They are blind, and they are following other similar blind persons, and the result is that they will fall in the ditch. Srila Gurudev. Then Hiranyakashipu became very angry and told Prahlāda, you want to say that I am blind and my guru Shukracharya is also blind, and Shanta and Amarka are bogus persons. You think you know better than them. I will kill you. Then Prahlāda Mahārāja told, and then I told Krishna Prabhu, Naishammatis tavad urukramangrim Sprishatanartha pagamo yadartha Mahiya sampada rajobhishekam Nishkinchananam navrinitayavat. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32. The lotus feet of Urukram, who is glorified for his uncommon activities, destroy all anarthas in the heart. However, those who are very materialistic cannot be attached to his lotus feet until they smear their bodies with the dust from the lotus feet of great souls who are absorbed in Bhagavat Prem and who are completely freed from material attachments. Yes, you both are blind, your guru and you. You are demons. I know that you are blind, and if you are not taking the dust of the lotus feet of highly qualified Vaishnavas, then your mati, your intelligence, cannot be changed. I told Krishna Prabhu, how can your intelligence be fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna if you have not bathed in the dust of the lotus feet of any elevated Vaishnava? It is not possible. It will not be possible. Srila Gurudev. Who is Nishkinchan? Who are Nishkinchan? I told Krishna Prabhu, Nishkinchan are those who have no possession, and Krishna is their only possession. In their heart is Sri Krishna, their only possession. Srila Gurudev. Good. I wanted all these things to be explained. I wanted all these things to be explained here, but bogus speakers told so many things out of subject. I don't know how they will preach in the future. I don't want these things. What became afterwards? Hiranyakashipu became furious, and taking his sword and club, he ordered his men, bring mad elephants and poisonous snakes, throw them on him so that they will kill him. Bring poison and forcibly give it to him. Bring my sister and put him in a fire. Throw him from a mountain into the ocean and bind him to a stone so that he will drown. They did that. Thousands of soldiers came to kill him, but they could not accomplish the result they desired. Hiranyakashipu became anxious and fearful, thinking, I wanted to kill him, but he is not dying, and it may be that I will be killed by him. Shanda and Amarka arrived and consoled him. They said, don't be worried. You have controlled Indra and all the other demigods, and Prahlāda is like a mosquito compared to them. Why are you so anxious? Wait a little. Our father Shukracharya has gone away for meditation. He will return shortly and make Prahlāda a very good boy. Don't worry. They took Prahlāda with them to their school and began again to teach him politics, duplicity, hypocrisy, diplomacy, how to earn money, and how to rule a country, to divide and control. Prahlāda did not say anything in the class. He was simply remembering his Lord Krishna. One day the teachers told Prahlāda, "We are going out for an important job, so for some time you should watch over these boys like a monitor. We will return very soon." With their teachers absent, the boys began to play here and there. Prahlāda requested them, "Don't do so. Please hear. I will tell you something that will make your life happy." Prahlāda Mahārāja then began to tell what the speakers did not touch. Prahlāda Mahārāja then began to tell what the speakers did not touch. I am very worried. My God, Gurudev is really tearing into him. Shamarani Mataji. The children wanted to play and engage in self-realization when they are older. Prahlāda told, "Kumara acharit pragya dharman bhagavatan iha durlabam manusham janma tadatya dhruvamartadam." Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. We should pursue self-realization from an early age. Suppose if we have 100 years to live, 50 years are wasted in sleeping. Then 10 years are wasted in playing foolishly as a child. 10 years in material educations, 10 years in sense gratification, getting married, having children, etc. 20 years are wasted in old age. So don't pursue economic development or money, as that does not bring happiness." Then Prem Prayojan Prabhu. Kumara acharit pragyo dharmam bhagavatan niha durlabam manusham janma tadapya dhruvamartadam. Actually, this time, 2003, he was still Aranya Maharaj. Anyways, Prahlāda is telling his friends, this human form of life is very rarely achieved after many millions of lifetimes. Srila Gurudev. You should think that Prahlāda Mahārāja is instructing you all and try to follow all these instructions in your life. Then you should help others. If you are not following, if you are not following yourself, how can you teach others? Aranya Maharaj. The human form of life is also temporary like other births, but this human birth is arthadam. It has the power to give something the other births cannot give. Dharman bhagavata iha. Dharman bhagavatan iha. In the human form of life, one can engage in Bhagavat Dharma, Prem Dharma, loving devotional service to Krishna. This is done from the very beginning from your life. As one grows older, one collects samskar, which will be obstacles to perform bhajan at an older age. There will be deep attachment to family and household positions. Did I say positions? I meant to say possessions. Srila Gurudev. Tat prayasa na kartavyo. Aranya Maharaj. Tat prayasa na kartavyo yata ayurvyaya param na tata vindate kshemam mukunda charanam bhujam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.6.4. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy, with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed toward Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Just as distress comes without any endeavor, happiness also comes without endeavor. If you are working hard in this world to attain material happiness, it is a waste of time because all will come according to karma. So don't waste your time in this. Srila Gurudev: have you explained about 100 years? You should tell that. Aranya Maharaj: if you don't take to the path of devotion, then 50 years of your life will be wasted in sleeping. The first 10 years will be wasted in playing games, 10 years will be spent in education and learning some skill or profession to maintain your life, and the last 20 years you'll be old and many diseases will be there. So how will you engage in bhajan? Srila Gurudev: at the time, how will you give up your newly married wife and weeping small children? Aranya Maharaj: when you collected so many material attachments, how can you give them up? Even if you tried to give them up, it will come in your mind again and again. Srila Gurudev: if your father is so old, how can you give him up? Your little children will be very lovingly calling, Papa, Mama. How will you be able to give up absorption in them? Your beautiful gardens and beautiful dogs, how will you give them up? So it is better to give up everything material and chant and remember Lord Krishna. Very good. Prahlāda told his classmates, if you want to be happy, then practice bhakti yoga, devotional service to Lord Krishna. What was that? Shripad Madhav Maharaj. The classmates asked, how can we practice bhakti yoga? Prahlāda: it is very simple and it doesn't require much endeavor. Guru shushushaya bhaktya sarvalabdharpanena cha sangena sarubhaktanam ishvararadhanena cha. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:730. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master, and in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord. You have to serve your spiritual master with shrushaya bhakti, just like it has been mentioned in the scriptures, Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6:23. Yasya devi para bhakti yata deve tata guru tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:237. Wait. Yeah, that's not a Srimad Bhagavatam verse, is it? Anyways, the conclusive essence of the Shrutis is only revealed to those great souls who have para bhakti unto Sri Bhagavan and who have an equal amount of bhakti for Sri Gurudev. The amount of para bhakti one has towards Bhagavan should be the same towards Sri Gurudev. Gurudev is not immortal. Then surely the meanings and essence of scriptures will come in the heart. Shanda and Amarka are not bona fide gurus, nor is their father Shukracharya, because they are absorbed in material things. Guru is not attached to material things. He is expert in all the scriptures, and he is a realized soul. If you go and serve him, then very easily you can understand. Whatever you have, you should offer at the feet of Gurudev. You should engage with the Vaishnavas as per the 6 exchanges as mentioned by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. Srila Gurudev, the students asked, Prahlāda, you are always attending this school of Shanda and Amarka, so where did you learn this philosophy? Shripad Madhav Maharaj. Prahlāda Maharaj replied, I never learned anything from these bogus gurus. My guru is Sri Narad Rishi. When I was in my mother's womb, I learned all this philosophy from Sri Narad. Srila Gurudev. Prahlāda asked, are you convinced? The children replied, oh yes, we are convinced. We are all convinced. Then come with me and perform Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the Lord's holy names. He then began Sankirtan. Shri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasiddha Shri Vallabhi Jivana Radhikesha Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. The devotees present also began kirtan, but they were stopped by the loud voice of Shripad Ashramaraj. They were stopped by the loud voice of Shripad Ashramaraj acting as Hiranyakashipu, who was in turn ripped open by Shripad Mahibharat Das. acting as Lord Nrsimhadeva in that 2-minute drama. I remember that. Thank you for this good demonstration. In a moment, Lord Nrsimhadeva pulled Hiranyakashipu's intestines out, put them around his neck, and began to roar. His mane began to fly in the air and made it seem as though the whole world would be finished. He was so furious that Lord Brahma, Lord Shankar, Sri Lakshmi Devi, and all other great personalities who arrived to watch the scene thought, "Oh, he will destroy the whole universe." They requested Lord Brahma, "You are his son, you should go to pacify him." Fearful, Lord Brahma objected, this time I cannot go. This time I cannot go. The demigods then requested Lord Shankar to pacify him, but he said, "I cannot go." After they asked Lakshmi Devi, "Lakshmi Devi, you are always serving and massaging him in the spiritual world. Please go and pacify him." She replied, "Today I cannot go." Brahma and others then requested Prahlāda, "You can do it. You should go." Hearing this, Prahlāda very boldly and with no fear at all jumped onto the lap of Lord Nrsimhadeva. Seeing Prahlāda, Lord Nrsimhadeva began to weep bitterly, with many tears flowing from his lotus eyes. He began licking Prahlāda's body as a lion licks his cubs, because he was in the form of half animal, half man. After that, he told Prahlāda, "I am very upset that I have delayed. Your father gave you so much trouble. He even tried to kill you, and I delayed. Excuse me for this delay, and take any benediction you like." Prahlāda Mahārāja replied, "I am not a business person. I don't want to beg anything or take any boon in exchange for my service to you." Prahlāda, "You must ask a boon, because your seeing me must not go in vain. You must ask any boon. So please tell me, otherwise I will not be pleased." Prahlāda said, "Please excuse my father and liberate him. It has been done." "How has it been done?" 21 generations of an Uttama Adhikari, topmost Vaishnava, will be liberated, even if the generations of family members are not devotees. For one who are Madhyam Adhikari, second-class devotees, their fathers and mothers of 14 generations will be liberated. If one is even a Kanishta, a neophyte devotee, but sincerely chanting and remembering Krishna, then 7 generations will be easily liberated. Your father is in the first generation, therefore he will surely be liberated. Now ask for any other benediction." Prahlāda said, "If you want to give me a benediction, grant me that I should live in this world for many years, suffering everyone's problems which they have received due to the reactions of their sinful activities, and their pain of the endless chain of birth and death, so that all will be liberated from top to bottom." "How can this be?" Lord Nrsimhadeva asked. Sri Prahlāda said, "You can do this very easily, because you can come for your devotees. All the living beings are part and parcel of you, and they are your eternal servants. So I know that you can certainly liberate them." Lord Nrsimhadeva then said, "If anyone hears, remembers, or tells others about our pastimes, they will certainly be liberated. They will be liberated gradually, first taking shelter of Sri Gurudev by instruction and initiation." Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja never asked for salvation or Sayuja Mukti, the impersonal liberation of merging onto the Supreme Lord's effulgence. He rejected everything material, and therefore he is a high-class Parama Bhagavat, a great devotee. Nrsimhadeva told him, "You will be the ideal example. People will say, 'Always be a great devotee like Prahlāda Mahārāja.' He is a devotee like Prahlāda Mahārāja. When the subject of bhakti, pure devotional service comes, people will say, 'Oh, Prahlāda Mahārāja was a Maha Bhagavat, a pure devotee. So many problems in life came, but he tolerated them all. He never cursed his father or replied in harsh words.' We should try to realize these truths and try to practice bhakti yoga like Prahlāda Mahārāja. I wanted the speakers to elaborately discuss this today in class. I am very worried. I am disappointed. This subject should be dealt with, giving up others. This subject should be dealt with, giving up others. In the future, you should be careful about this. I wanted to glorify Prahlāda Mahārāja, but so many other subjects entered. Then there's a kirtan, and then my Gurudev says, why did Lord Nrsimhadeva appear from a pillar? He did so to make the words of his devotee true. Before being killed, Hiranyakashipu had asked Prahlāda, before being killed, Hiranyakashipu had asked Prahlāda Maharaj, where is your Lord? Have you ever seen him? Prahlāda had replied, oh yes, he is everywhere. There is no place where he is not. He is in the atom, in the heart of all living beings, everywhere. Do you believe this? Devotees, yes. Then know that Lord Krishna is watching you, everywhere and in all circumstances. If you are stealing anything or doing any nonsense, others may not realize what you are doing, but he knows. He is everywhere. Then Hiranyakashipu said, is he in this pillar? Prahlāda replied, certainly. Hiranyakashipu then picked up his club, and with his fist he crushed the pillar. A loud roaring sound at once came from the pillar. Then Ashram Raj roars. Rah! Frightened, Hiranyakashipu began looking around to see, from where is this sound coming? He then saw that it was coming from the pillar. Satyam vidatum nijabhrutta bhashitam vyaptim cha bhutesh vakileshu chatmana adrishyatat yadbhuta rupam udvahan stambe sabhayam namrgam manusham. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.17. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlāda Mahārāja was substantial. In other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. Lord Nrsimhadeva is so merciful that he came to fulfill the four Kumars' curse of Jai and Vijay, the two gatekeepers in Vaikuntha who were cursed to come to this world as Hiranyakashipu and his brother, and to fulfill the boon which Brahma gave to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu could not be killed by anyone in creation, nor in the night, or in the day, nor in any month of the year, nor by any weapon. To make Lord Brahma's words true, Lord Nrsimhadeva came in the evening, at sunset, which is neither day nor night. He did not die in the sky or on the earth, for Lord Nrsimhadeva picked him up and put him on his lap. He did not die inside a room or outside, for Lord Nrsimhadeva killed him in a doorway. And he did not die by any weapon, for Lord Nrsimhadeva killed him with his nails. He ripped Hiranyakashipu apart and took out his intestines. So Lord Nrsimhadeva came out from the pillar, and Hiranyakashipu saw that he is everywhere. You may think, I am alone when doing nonsense, but he will see. His eyes are the sun and moon. He is all the atoms of the air. He is in all the atoms of the air. Lord Nrsimhadeva wanted to test Prahlāda by offering him boons to see if he is willing to be cheated by them. He offered to give him the Sayuja Mukti that was given to Shishupal. He offered to give him that salvation which so many sages and maharshis, saintly kings in the line of Sankaracharya, cannot achieve in thousands of births. Nrsimhadeva was willing to give this to Prahlāda very easily, but Prahlāda refused it all. He again and again requested Prahlāda to accept this, but he refused. Salokya sarshti sarupya samipaikyatame apyuta diyamanam nagrinanti vinamat sevanam janam. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.13. This is from Kapila Dev's teachings. My devotees do not accept Salokya, Sarshti, Sarupya, Samipya, or oneness with me, even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. Even if I offer these liberations in preference to serving me. Prahlāda said, I am not a business person. I will not take a boon from you in exchange for my service to you. What to speak of this Sayuja Mukti and personal liberation? What to speak of that? I don't even have personal desire to be in the spiritual planets of Vaikuntha. I don't want anything as remuneration. Lord Nrsimhadeva asked, "What do you want? Oh, what do you want?" Śrī Prahlāda said, "Please be merciful to all living beings. By that I will be pleased, and you will also be pleased, because you are Bhakta Vatsal. You have an unlimited desire to please your devotees, and you know that all living beings are your personal, eternal servants. Please be merciful and give that benediction to all. And if you want, I will stay in this world forever, suffering for all their sinful reactions." But he never took that. He also said, "Nata yoni sahasreshu yeshu vrajamyaham teshu teshvachuta bhaktir achutastu sadatvai." Sri Vishnu Puran 120:38. O Master, in all the thousands of births through which I must wander in this world, please let me have unfailing devotion to you, the infallible Supreme Lord. O Achyuta, infallible Lord, I don't mind accepting hundreds of thousands of births, but I want that wherever I will be, I must receive the elevated association of your pure devotees and always worship you. I don't want anything else. Sri Lakshmi Devi, Garuda, Lord Brahma, Lord Shankar, and many other great personalities were present, but Lord Nrsimhadeva gave preference to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He said, "I could not cheat you. You have conquered me. I don't favor Sankarshan, or Lakshmi Devi, or my messenger and carrier Garuda, or Lord Brahma, as much as I favor a devotee like you. Therefore, I cannot cheat you. So you have conquered me." Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja never cared for any problem that arose in his life, and he accomplished his mission in a very short time. His father wanted to kill him, but he never cared. If death is to come, it will come, and you will not be able to do anything to protect yourself. Prahlāda Mahārāja was very bold. You should also be bold like him. I am telling all these truths for you. If death is coming, or so many problems and sufferings are coming, try to keep your feet on the head of them all. Don't be upset. Try to do bhajan, chanting and remembering Krishna without any hesitation and not considering any obstacles. This is the teaching of Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja. End of part 1. Sorry, could you just give me 1 second here? There's like a huge fight going on outside and I'm just really curious. Sorry, I can't help myself. 1 second. Anyhow, can't really see from my room, but yeah, it's screaming like crazy. Alright, so should we do this last part? My god, I'm starting to get tired. Let me see if anybody's still there. Oh wow, people are still there. Oh, Manjari's still there. I thought you had to go. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Oh my god. Did I do it? I'm starting to get a little tired actually. Oh, let's just do it. I'll do it. This isn't way too long. This is shorter than what we just read. Then we'll have read everything on Pure Bhakti. And then in the evening time we can read from other acharyas. Like there's something from Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Maharaj, and we'll find other things. Okay, so Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja, confidential facts. This is also given in Badger on May 14th, 2003 evening. So this is part 2 on the subject of Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja. Prahlāda and Bali Maharaj. When Shri Krishna's incarnation, Lord Vamandev, came to the palace of Bali Maharaj in the form of a dwarf Brahmin, his feet and legs were naturally very small. He told Bali Maharaj, "I want something from you." Bali Maharaj became happy and said, "Ask for any boon, a very beautiful wife, a kingdom, heaven, wealth, reputation, or position. I can easily give you this." Lord Vamandev replied, I am a Brahmin boy. I am always satisfied. I don't want anything unnecessary. I want only 3 steps of lands, so that I may sit there and do bhajan. Bali Maharaj began to laugh and joke with that young Brahmin. He said, You are just a boy, a child, and your intelligence is also very small like that of a child. I want to give you everything imaginable, but you do not want that. But all right, I shall give you the 3 steps of land as you desire. Lord Vamandev asked Bali Maharaj to do a sankalpa, a ceremony to make a vow that would consecrate the offering and finalize it. Bali Maharaj's guru, Shukracharya, was actually a materialist and was thus very worried about his own security. He warned Bali, Be careful, don't make a vow to give him anything. Don't believe him, he is Vishnu, not a dwarf. He is the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Accepting Kashyapa Muni as his father and Aditi as his mother, he has now appeared to fulfill the interests of the demigods. He is cheating you. Give something that will not be harmful to you. Give something, but not in a way that he can take everything. Bali Maharaj replied, If he is Vishnu, he will somehow take everything away. Everything already belongs to Vishnu, God. So why should I not give what he asks? And if he is not Vishnu, he will not be able to take anything except the 3 steps of land. Lord Vamandev then said, If Shukracharya does not assist you in making the vow, I will do so personally. Now take some water from this vessel and do sankalpa. While Bali Maharaj was preparing to do the sankalpa, Shukracharya thought, He did not obey me, and now Vishnu will take everything. I must prevent that water from coming out of the vessel, so that the vow will not be completed. Because the water was not coming out, Lord Vamandev took a small stick and pierced a hole in the spout of that vessel, and blood at once began to flow from it. From where had the blood come? Shukracharya was a powerful mystic yogi. He had made himself become very small and had entered the vessel to stop the water from pouring from the spout, and now he had become blind in one eye. Of course, because he always had one eye on worldly things and not on transcendental truths, he was actually blind in one eye, even before this incident. Persons who create problems for those who are coming to do bhajan and to accept a guru are blind in one eye. So don't give any such problems to your husband, children, wife, friends, or anyone else. If any associate of yours wants to do bhajan, tell them that they are doing very well and say, I bless you, I will help you. If your husband or wife is trying to do bhajan, don't stop him or her. If you do so, you will become blind in one eye. After the vow was completed, clever Lord Vamandev at once became so tall that his body extended from the earth to the sky. By this, God, my throat's got stuck. By this pastime, he became also known as Trivikram, for he took 3 giant steps. His first step encompassed the entire lower half of the universe, and his second step covered the upper half. Now it seems that there was nothing remaining for Bali Maharaj to give. Vamandev asked, Where should I put my third step? Shri Vamandev was very clever, and Bali Maharaj was also clever. Bali replied, I am fully surrendering to you. Please take my body. Place your foot on my head. He did Atma Nivedan, full surrender of the body, words, mind, and heart. But what was the result? Vamandev arrested him and bound him with the ropes of Varuna. There was a great roar of lamentation in all directions, but Bali Maharaj was nonetheless fixed in determination to serve and love the Lord. It appeared that Lord Vamandev was punishing Bali Maharaj, especially when he ordered that Bali would now have to go to the lower planetary system to reside. Bali would lose his usurped kingdom. But it was not an ordinary hellish planet to which the Lord sent Bali. This planet had been created for Bali by the Lord's own desire, and it was more opulent than any heaven. He even had the famous demigod architect Vishwakarma build Bali Maharaj a palace that was far more opulent than that of the King of Heaven. Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja at once arrived, along with Lord Brahma, and asked Vāmandev, "What are you doing, Lord? He has given you everything, and you are binding him?" This was an indirect glorification. Tears came in the eyes of Prahlāda Mahārāja out of ecstatic affection for the Lord, and he also had great affection for Bali Mahārāja. Bali Mahārāja was the son of Virochan, who was the son of Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja. Bali Mahārāja was thus the grandson of Prahlāda Mahārāja. Lord Vāmandev saw Prahlāda Mahārāja and was weeping due to his love for his family member, and he therefore very humbly said, "O Bali Mahārāja, you may ask for any benediction." Being very clever, Bali Mahārāja replied, "In my palace in Sutal, there are 49 gates. There is no certainty by which gate or lane I will go in. There is no certainty by which gate or lane I will go out or in. I request the benediction that you stand at the gate of whatever lane I pass, all the time, day and night." Thus he made Sri Vāmandev the gatekeeper, and Vāmandev, Vishnu, happily accepted this. Why did Vāmandev give this benediction to Bali Mahārāja? It was because of the Lord's affection for Prahlāda Mahārāja. Otherwise, Bali Mahārāja hadn't done anything to deserve it. A donation of only a universe cannot bring this mercy of Vishnu. Do you understand? No one can satisfy the Lord by wealth, position, or any other material offering. Vāmandev gave the boon to be always present in Bali Mahārāja's palace due to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He told Prahlāda, "Always remain there in Sutal and be happy with your relatives there, and I will also always be here." Prahlāda and Banasura. Have you heard of King Banasura? He was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he had thousands of arms. Aniruddha, the grandson of Lord Krishna, was in love with Banasura's daughter, Usha. Aniruddha secretly went to Banasura's palace to stealthily meet with her. Banasura found out and wanted him arrested. Aniruddha fought to protect himself, but he was finally defeated and arrested by Banasura and his army. Narad, who was also a clever personality, brought news of this to Sri Krishna and Sri Baladev. He told them, "Banasura has captured your grandson." At once, along with his entire army, Krishna reached there and began to fight with Banasura. Banasura used his 1,000 arms to fight with many clubs, arrows, and other weapons. But during that battle, Krishna cut off all his arms and hands except for 4. In the meantime, Banasura remembered his lord, Shankar, Lord Shiva, who immediately came and also began to fight on Banasura's side. Lord Sri Krishna shot a special arrow called Vishnu Dwara, and Shankar shot his Shiva Dwara. Shankar was defeated and then remembered Parvati, who came to that spot. There was a demigoddess named Kotara, who was worshipped by Banasura, and the relationship was as mother and son. Mother Kotara was upset that Banasura's life was in danger, so she appeared on the scene. With naked body and scattered hair, she stood before Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna did not like to see the sight of this naked woman, and to avoid seeing her, he turned his face. Seeing this demigoddess as a manifestation of the power of Shankar, we see this demigoddess as a manifestation of the power of Shankar, Parvati Devi. Krishna then stopped his fighting and said, "O Shankar, O Parvati, what do you want?" They requested, "We want that he be spared. Please don't kill him." Krishna then said, "All right, I will bless him that he will be loyal to you, and he will properly worship you." Why was this all enacted by the Lord? The reason is that Banasura was also in the dynasty of Śrī Prahlāda Mahārāja. Ultimately, Krishna did not favor Banasura because of Shankar or Parvati, nor for any reason other than Prahlāda Mahārāja. Prahlāda and Ravan. While Lord Vishnu was in the palace of Bali Mahārāja, as the gatekeeper of his entire palace, Ravan came to conquer the world. Conquering almost everywhere, he arrived in Sutala and wanted to fight with Bali Mahārāja. He knew that Bali Mahārāja was a very strong personality, and so he desired to defeat him. However, When Lord Vishnu saw Ravan coming, he simply kicked him with his toe, and at once Ravan flew very far away to Lanka. Why did he do this? It was because Ravan would have otherwise disturbed Prahlāda Mahārāja and his grandson Bali Mahārāja. He threw Ravan from there because of affection for Prahlāda Mahārāja. Prahlāda and Durvasa Muni. The Puranas relate still another history. Dwarka was once invaded by a demon named Kush, and its residents became afraid. The demon wanted to kill all the inhabitants of Dwarka, who thus began to weep. They begged the sage and powerful yogi Durvasa Muni, "Please go, like the wind, and find our Lord. You must know where he is. Please ask him to come at once and save us." Durvasa went to Sutala and prayed to Lord Vishnu. "The demon Kush has invaded Dwarka and is about to kill all your citizens. Please come and save them." Lord Vishnu told him, "Aham bhakta paradhino hyasvatantra ivadvija sadhu bir grasta hridayo bhakter bhakta janapriya." Srimad Bhagavatam 9.463. Sri Bhagavan said to Durvasa Muni, "I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the core of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. I am not independent of my devotees. I am under their control. If you like, you can pray to Bali Mahārāja. If he orders me to go, then I can go. Otherwise, I cannot." Oh, I've never heard this story before. Okay. Durvasa then approached Bali Mahārāja and said, "O Bali Mahārāja, please allow Lord Vishnu to go with me to save the residents of Dwarka. Otherwise, they will all die." Bali Mahārāja replied, "You are capable of performing great tasks, and you know everything. You should know that it is not for me to say whether this clever and tricky personality should go or not. Lord Brahma and Lord Shankar always offer obeisances to his lotus feet. How can I order him to go? It is not so easy to order the Lord to do something. I do not know what will happen to the residents of Dwarka, but I will not order him to go. I cannot allow it." Bali Mahārāja did not want the Lord to leave him. He knew that the Lord can do anything by his inconceivable power. Thus the Lord can stay in Sutal, and at the same time he can go to Dwarka and save the devotees there. Why did Bali Mahārāja have such power? It is because Prahlāda Mahārāja was there. What an exalted devotee Prahlāda Mahārāja is. Prahlāda, the preacher. You may know that Prahlāda Mahārāja accepted the kingdom of the world from Lord Nrsimha-deva. He never accepted the boon of Vaikuntha, salvation, and so on, but he accepted the kingdom of the world. Why? He thought, in this way I may easily preach devotion to the Lord everywhere. So if you have money, there is no harm in that. Use it in the service of Lord Sri Krishna to preach bhakti everywhere. Then Krishna will be happy, all the devotees will be happy, Bhakti Devi will be happy, and you will also be happy. Prahlāda the warrior. Prahlāda Mahārāja once visited Naimisharanya, and there he saw a sage with matted locks, There he saw a sage with matted locks who had with him a bow and arrows and a sword. It is the duty of the Vedic king to maintain the proper religious and social system of Varnashram Dharma, and therefore Prahlāda asked him, "Why do you have weapons? You wear garments of a renunciate performing austerities, and at the same time you have a sword and bow and arrows. Why? Well, why? I cannot allow you to do so. Either be a sage or a kshatriya warrior. If you don't agree to follow my instruction, if you like, you can fight with me and try to defeat me, but I will not allow you to do this." That person said, "I accept your challenge," and he became ready to fight. They were fighting for one day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and Prahlāda Mahārāja could not defeat him. He began to wonder, who is he? Why am I not able to defeat him? He then entered a trance of meditation. In that meditation, he at once saw that the same garland he had made with his own hands and given that morning to his deity of Lord Nrsimhadeva was on the neck of the person he was fighting. Prahlāda then realized, "Oh, he is a very big trickster," and he began to laugh. He dropped his bow and arrow and exclaimed, "Lord!" The Supreme Lord then gave him darshan as Nrsimhadeva. Prahlāda asked him, "I have promised to defeat you, but I could not. What should I do?" Lord Nrsimhadeva wanted to test him, otherwise who could fight against him? The Lord answered, "I am always defeated by you. Not only today, but always. You always defeat me by your devotion." How exalted a devotee is Prahlāda Mahārāja. Prahlāda and Narad. Narad Muni was once traveling from the palaces of one devotee to another, telling each one, "You are the greatest recipient of Sri Krishna's mercy." He had gone from worldly devotees to Lord Brahma to Lord Shiva. Then he came to Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja and glorified him in many ways. In another instance, Sri Narad Muni prayed to Lord Vishnu, "I once received a curse from Daksha, who told me, 'You will not be able to stay anywhere for more than a moment, for as long as it takes to milk a cow.'" Jara, old age personified, had previously come to Narad and told him, "I want to marry you." He at once fled on his way to Goloka Vrindavan, and Jara also cursed him in the same way. Now Narad begged Lord Vishnu, "I don't care about these curses. I want to remain always in Sutal and serve you there. Why did this incident take place?" Prahlāda Mahārāja is there, and due to this, Lord Vishnu always remains there. Prahlāda and Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. We're almost at the end. There are so many more teachings and glorifications of Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja, and that is why Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said that everyone should read about the life of Prahlāda Mahārāja at least 108 times. He personally also gave at least 108 lectures about Prahlāda. If you really want to be happy, don't try to gallop over Prahlāda Mahārāja to be in Vrindavan. Don't be mad for Gopi Prem. First be like Prahlāda Mahārāja. Gradually be like Hanuman, and then the Pandavas, then Uddhav, and then any servant of the Gopas and Gopis. You cannot attain Gopi Prem before doing this. Try to follow all the instructions of Prahlāda. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmanivedanam, Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him," in other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. Try to follow Prahlāda, and also follow your Guru. Don't disobey him. Always perform Vishrambhena Guru Seva, intimate service to Gurudev. Follow all the instructions of the Gosvāmis, and be happy forever. My benediction to you. Today, I will pray to Lord Krishna and Lord Nrsimhadeva for you all. Now we will see a drama about Lord Nrsimhadeva. It must be completed before dark. At once, take the mic. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. This is done by the Hari Kathā team, 2021. Submitted by Sundar Gopal Prabhu. And now they're just starting Arti. I actually missed Mangal Arti this morning, so I want to go for noon Arti. So I'm going to end now. Jai Shri Nrsimhadeva. Yeah, and we can't live more than 108 Rup Manjari. Oops. We can't live 108 years, so we have to do it more than once a year. That's true. Yeah. Very true. Well, better. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm going to go right now. I don't want to miss Arti. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for sticking with me for, wow, that was 2.5 hours. All right, I'll do a quick Jaidvani. Haribol Nitya Shuddha Didi, Haribol. And Madhavi Didi, Dandavat pranams. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Vihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govana Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mishripad Ashtara Shatashma Chila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Shila Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mishripad Ashtara Shatashma Chila Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mishripad Ashtara Shatashma Chila Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Mahārāja Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mishripad Ashtara Shatashma Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mishripad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Mahābhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishya Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadasha Raghunath Char Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Naam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Bhaja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Avishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ki Jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nṛsiṁha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashankari Shri Nṛsimha-deva Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravar Bhakta Raj Shri Prahlāda Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Lakshmi Nṛsimha-deva Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Hiranyakashipu Udharan Lila Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I like your comments, Rup Manjari. Haribol. Alright, so if there isn't a crazy tufan tonight, then I will sing this really awesome song by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we could also read something by other acharyas like Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Goswami Maharaj. Rup Manjari sent me something, and other acharyas also. I'll just see what I can find on the internet. Alright, Jai Shri Nṛsiṁha-deva, Haribol. Dandavat pranams Madhavi Didi and Haribol.